Hey guys, what's up? It's KoNinja, and this is an oj2 discussion I never thought I'd have to make, considering I thought you guys would be good at this. I thought you guys would actually be good at this. But today I'm teaching people how to play defensively, and I'll explain why I'm teaching this when we get into the video. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment down what you want to see, and let's get into it. Now, usually in a fighting game, when we're talking about like actually getting shit done, we're usually talking about the offense, like hitting someone, taking their health away and stuff. But you could actually kind of play defensively and get the same results. So today I'm going to teach people how to play defensively. And I'm just going to go over one, why would you want to play defensively? So defense is, in my opinion, more or almost, or if not more important than a good offense, right? In this game, at least. So in this game, you have a few defensive mechanics. Like you have blocking, you have just guarding, and you have guard canceling, which I will demonstrate right here. Hold on. Like that. You have a few defensive mechanics. You have stuff to make sure that people actually, don't approach you, and when they do, they will get knocked back. Also, combo breakers, if you want to count those as defensive mechanics, but I'd count them as more just a combo breaker mechanic, like that's its own thing. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you why you'd want to play defensively. So, defense is really easy to mess up, and I realized this when I went in unranked today because I wanted to grind some plates. I need to see if I had any plates missing, and I ran into 100% Deku. And this 100% Deku obviously didn't know how to play the game, and I'm about to explain to you why. Because he was camping me, right? And he was like playing defensively, zoning me with projectiles, and 100% projectiles aren't really even that threatening anyway, so I didn't really care. He should be using them to get in instead of like zoning me with them. But the weird thing is that he was doing it when I had the health lead. So, I don't know why he thought he could play defensively when in reality, I'd never have to approach him unless he approached me. I'd never have to do anything unless he came to me. Because, 100% projectiles in this character-specific thing, it aren't threatening at, like, long ranges like this. They aren't threatening like that. And even if he does get in, I could guard cancel, I could roll, I could avoid him. So, I don't know why he thought that I was going to approach. And we did this kind of like back and forth thing where we would walk past each other on the stage, kind of just waiting for someone to do something. I wasn't going to do anything because I literally didn't have to. But he had to do something because he literally couldn't afford to not doing something. And at the very end of the match, he did do something. But he failed so spectacularly because I knew what he was going to do. He was going to come out, call an assist, try to get some pressure, but Kirishima assist invalidates that entire fucking game plan, and he lost. And he lost because he got timed out, because he just didn't approach me. If he approached me with a solid offense, he would have actually just straight up beat me there. Or, I mean, he wouldn't have beaten me because I had so much of a health lead that there was no real point anyway. But let's just say that I didn't have that much health. Maybe let's say I had like 10% more health than him, and he could hit me a couple times, and I'd lose. I would have lost that match. No, that's not what happened. He just couldn't. He didn't approach. Now, I'm thinking, I teach you this because you're going to run into someone who doesn't want to approach you, even if you do have the health lead. And the one thing that you want to do when it comes to playing defensive, do not give in first. No matter how good your offense is, I would never give in first. Never give in first. When it comes to the war of attrition, the winner is the one who stays still the longest. The tower who stands the longest will be the one remembered throughout time, aka you gonna be the one who wins. So, you, as the tower, have to beat up this other tower, right? And in order to do that, you have to not move, because they do not want to approach you, and you shouldn't really approach them. Now, you just not approaching them might not work. Maybe this guy is offensive. Maybe this guy is hyper aggressive. In that case, you can punish him for it. Now, there's a type of archetype or a type of playstyle called bait and punish. And what bait and punish is that it's a defensive type playstyle that also kind of incorporates offensive, where you try to predict your opponent, read them constantly, and profit off of their mistakes. The reason I'm playing Mirio is because he's the king of predicting shit. Because his plus soldier 1 is literally the best thing at predicting shit. Now, I'm not going to go into that specifically, but when it comes to bait and punish, like bait and switch type playstyles, the thing you want to do is that you need to have a reliable grasp on your opponent. A reliable grasp means you know what they're going to do. You know what they want. You know the option that they're going to do, right? Against higher level players, this playstyle doesn't seem as viable because, you know, they're unpredictable and they'll do shit. They'll do random shit, right? Now, one thing you want to work on if you want to actually pull off this playstyle is defensive baiting movement. And what I mean by that is that movement like this. Movement like that. That is a basic structure for a defensive playstyle. Air dash, jump back is your best friend in that. So let's say, for example, this twice wants to hit me, right? Let's say I'm gonna let him do his card combo, right? And then I'm gonna like jump back. Oh, shit. Okay, don't look at that. I'm gonna jump back, right? I'm gonna jump back. You saw how I literally jumped clear over him, and then I could punish him. That's what you really want to master when you're playing defensively. Because when you play defensively and you don't have that mastered, you really don't force your opponent to really be afraid of you. Because they really feel like they just don't want to do shit, right? They don't have a scary offense. They might have a decent defense, but they won't have anything to actually scare you. And this is why defensive movement is so good at high level play. Defensive movement, offensive movement, aka doing it directly towards your opponent and not moving. Or moving towards your opponent and just guarding, right? Let's see if I can get this twice to do this. Yeah, like that. Obviously, since twice is multi-hitting, it won't work as well since you'll have to multi-hit and, you know, like do it immediately and shit. But that's basically the gist of it. What you want to do is you want to have movement that makes your opponent think you're going to do something when you're actually not doing anything at all. What you're actually really doing is just seeing what they do. And if what they do is what you want them to do, then you do something. It's just kind of reading your opponent. It's the game of chess. This is why a high level play, or when people talk about fighting games, they talk about it as like high speed, very active, live action chess. That's essentially what a fighting game is, right? And this is the ultimate defensive move. Whatever the defensive move in chess would look like, that is it. Defensive movement. You'll know a player is good when they can do any form of defensive movement. Even as basic as this has so many situations and so many different applications that it is literally insane. I could talk about this. I could talk about air dashes for an entire video. Hell, I made a movement video. You can go find that, whatever. I'll probably link it into the description. But it's literally so integral to upping your game plan or upping what you really want to do, like as a defensive player or an offensive player. Offensive players can make use of this when they are losing the lead, or they're either losing the lead or they really want to get an opening, because this will 99.9% of the time open up your opponent better than any block string. And I guarantee that at better levels of play, if you are better than your opponent, this is enough to make them freak out. I've seen it happen. I've done it to people. Just moving forward, jumping back is enough to scare the shit out of someone, because there's so much you can do moving forward and jumping back in this game. You literally give them a few options. If they call your bluff, nothing happens, and you're reset back to neutral. But oh boy, if you have a good air game, or if you're like Hawks where you can kind of like move around them way easier, then this is straight up fucked. This is fucked, especially against someone who doesn't know what you're about to do. When I first played against a really good player and they did this, I was so scared. And I know this is getting into a video talking about like defensive movement, not playing defensively, but defensive movement is kind of like integral to playing defensively, because if you're not good at moving defensively, then how the fuck are you going to play defensively if you don't have defensive moves? And I feel like I'm talking to people who are playing characters who don't really seem to be able to play defensively, but every character can play defensively. If it's like camping with projectiles or zoning or like a bait and switch type thing, right? Then you can play defensively. Every character has the ability to play defensively. The potential comes in the character's specific movements and the character's specific move set and the potential of the player itself. If you are a good player, you can move and open anyone up. Movement is its own offense. Movement opens up. Movement is important if you want to get anywhere decent out of this game. Air dash, even knowing how to jump out of an air dash, I barely see people do that. I still get mixed by this. This is the most basic mix-up. This functions as defensive movement, offense, and open up. Literally everything. And it's really important. I'd say that everyone should learn this. But all in all, playing defensively really just means that you're you're forcing your opponent to make decisions. You're forcing your opponent to take action and punishing them for taking said action. And when they don't have enough life to actually do anything or actually take the handle, once they don't have enough life to actually like do anything, they can't let their hands off of the wheel. Because if they do, they lose control and they die. They have to keep their hands on the wheel at all times. And if they don't, they fuck up, they lose. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my little discussion on defensive play. Please don't play defensively and like a bitch when you don't even have enough life to show anything for it. That's just a main thing. If you guys liked the video, it's a little thing I threw together, not too in-depth, not too insane. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.